You know, you shouldn't knock Chinese potions. I have something in my pocket right now that'll completely clear up that bruise on your forehead.
What bruise?
And today on the Tuesday episode of the Skimbo Lounge, we'll be reviewing Steven Seagal's A Good Man. And here we go. Timer started.
All right. A Good Man, Rory.
So this was how many years after Under Siege?
Under Siege came out in 1992. A Good Man came out in 2014.
Ooh, I thought it was a lot later than that.
No.
I thought, so he made a bunch more films for Netflix, didn't he? Or no, not for Netflix, but they're on Netflix.
Yeah, he's made everything he's made has been direct to video and made over in like the Balkans.
Yeah, because he seems to have found a lot more work over in like Eastern Europe.
I'm pretty sure they filmed in Bucharest for this one.
Really?
Romania.
A Good Man, which is so this one opens up with him. He's just like living in this apartment space next to this woman.
No, that's not how that just opens up.
Oh, right.
It opens up with him leading a Black Ops team
long.
of homeless guys and old people onto a mission into some fucking part of Dagestan. I think that's like...
We scooped up some of these living Vietnam vets and put them in my movie.
Dude, his buddy who's like, I got your six, don't worry. Looks like some kind of like old prospector that like traveled through time. And
That'd
they're
be
like,
actually
"You
great.
wanna be in the movie?"
I've got credits as that, an old-timey prospector. But so, yeah, you're right. So it opens up with the Black Ops mission where they're going to kill this particular terrorist, basically.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia right here, and we're going to need
Him and
to
an
refer
arms
to it
dealer.
because, yeah, this
Very
is a very
convoluted.
dense film. There's a lot going on. The primary target is Islamic terrorist Abu al-Waki. The secondary target is Mr. Chen.
Abu Normal.
And Mr. Chen is a fundamentalist arms dealer financing terrorism.
Right. So they get the one target and they miss the other guy. And there's a bunch of civilians inside. He's like, no. We've already, the target's gone. Call off the airstrike. And the airstrike happens anyways. And Steven Seagal runs and saves one girl.
His entire team dies, and Mr. Chen gets away.
Yeah. Cut to what seems like it's like a long time later in the future, but Steven Seagal is just about the same fat level and looking like they don't age him up at all or anything. It's just it's not months later, right? It's like
it might have said, and I was probably my head was probably tilted back in cackles.
Do we have any confirmation on the Wikipedia? Months later.
It just says long after the disastrous operation in Dagestan.
Yeah.
He has relocated to Eastern Europe.
So he's looking for a quiet life now, and he's hanging out in this apartment block, and there's these people like, darn it, our lock's busted again. And I'll take care of that for you. And he kind of walks over with a pastrami on rye in his hand and sits down and fucks around with a screwdriver for a second. Oh, there you go. And fixes it.
But that's like his
so
cover
nice
in this movie. They're like, he's a handyman.
Yeah.
I think you take one look at that guy and you're like...
they take all the fun out of it. Like, again, in Under Siege, you're like, oh, he's just a cook for a while. And nobody really knows who the fuck Steven Seagal is. So unless they plastered him all over it, you're like, wow, it's Steven Seagal and Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey. And like a lot of names are in this. And... They have the intrigue of like what kind of badass is he gonna be? And this one they start with him doing Black Ops, so there's no hint about like who is this guy. It just they give it away immediately. I'm not sure if I like that in my Seagal films. I love the reveal moment when the bad guy realizes just how dangerous Steven Seagal is.
Well, you still get that in this
He
movie.
knows Aikido
Because I think they say, the order of plot doesn't matter. Steven Seagal is killing people who are connected to this Mr. Chen.
Yeah.
He leaves a Chinese symbol written on the blacktop and then incense in the corpse's hand.
He's killing Russian mobsters basically,
And his name is Guilo.
yeah,
That's the
with
name.
Ghost or something in there, like round-eyed ghost or something.
Yeah, because Guilo is a derogatory term for white people, so
Yeah,
I would
round
assume
eye.
that it must mean like, ghostly complexion or some shit.
Sure.
But yeah, so Guilo is
Yeah,
out.
he walks around killing people with like a little mini samurai sword.
Yeah.
Like, you ever seen like a doshi, like those little, like the ones that comes in the, like it's one of those tinier looking fucking. And he just pulls it out of his. Swing.
It honestly, it has like a bright sandalwood handle. It kind of looks like a fucking big steak knife.
Yeah.
When he takes it out, I'm like, yeah, he probably goes to like Charles Mulligan's Steakhouse. I'm gonna beat the challenge tonight. I'm not going to burst again.
I brought my own. Brought my own cutlery. Shing!
I fortified my colon. You can train it. You can strengthen any muscle in the body.
You're so brave, Mr. Seagal. Thank you.
I mean, he's just like peak disastrously fat in this movie too, to the point where
He gets fatter.
But the thing is, I'm sure he's fatter, yes, with the march of time. But this is like, he's not getting up to kick any ass. He's literally sitting at a club. I remember him eating spaghetti. Now that may be the Mandela effect,
No. That's a different movie that he did.
where he's eating spaghetti in
Yes.
the club and someone disrespects him.
Yes.
What movie was that?
That's like one of, again, where I was like, he did some movies like 2018 or 28. He did 3 movies. This might be one of them.
This is part of a trilogy.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
so,
one of the other ones.
A
Where he's
good
sitting there
man-
eating spaghetti.
and I think the one we watched was Force of Execution, because this movie. Listen to this. This makes no sense. A Good Man
So stupid.
is a prequel to Force of Execution.
Yes.
A Good Man was followed by a sequel, Absolution. So doesn't that make Force of Execution the sequel to Absolution? Or Absolution the sequel to Force of
They
Execution?
both take place during the same time period. He was in 2 places at once.
Well, he's certainly fat enough. He's got that. He just looks like he lives on Entenmann's
I'm a
donuts.
multi-dimensional Time Lord. He's just eating like a Claire while he says it.
I've got to get back to my timeline.
Yeah, God, I would. Oh my God, if they made like a multi-dimensional Steven Seagal film, I would watch that shit every day of my life.
I mean, the 2 guys who should make it are sitting in this room doing a podcast.
I would form a religion around it and build a cult, which apparently is super easy to do these days. Everybody wants something to believe in.
I think it would be not difficult at all to build a cult around Steven Seagal.
Yeah, cult of he's not a dick. He's playing 4D chess.
No, you really could. You could sell like
Look at him eat that pastrami. Clearly, he's trying to alert us to a child pedophile ring.
he's like Jordan Peterson, but he can do Aikido. You know what I
gotta
mean?
clean
Those
your
same
room.
people will be like, well, he knows karate and he fucks like Eastern European prostitutes and
so
he's
cool.
tight with Putin. He's pretty cool.
Doing it to own the libs.
Yeah.
Add a couple of those in there and then put like some Latin on the end of it.
Give your life to Steven Seagal to trigger the libs.
Yeah.
Maybe the Skimbo Lounge should be the tip of that spear.
Does anyone have a shed we can do this out of? Like, we need something we can retrofit into a church.
I don't think our listeners have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out
Is
of.
that stained glass in the back? No, it's just bottle shards we put over that window. It's kind of got the same effect, just that duct tape. It's the best we could do.
We just go to Mitch's house and just glue broken bottles to the fucking glass in their garage.
Yeah, exactly.
His
You get
mom
it.
comes out. What are you doing?
There's just 30 of us hunched in the garage. Go away!
This is a social club.
Some kid on his knees sitting there with one of those stupid swords.
You will commit to gaining 30 pounds in your first 3 months with the collective.
It's just a bunch of sweaty dudes.
All always wearing coats and scarves.
So, good man. We got 2 minutes. We got off on a bad tangent.
No, I mean, that's all
good.
this movie like has no plot. It really just like is him moving scene to scene
the
to
woman,
scene.
there's like a woman that like he lives near who like has some importance later to some boss. You got to bring me the woman and the girl. Like, you got to bring me the woman.
Yeah,
they
she's
try to bring her child.
a Lithuanian cocktail waitress that Steven Seagal met on the flight over to shoot the movie, and went.
yes.
You know, your teeth are a little fucked up, but you're hot enough to be a Seagal, babe.
Are you willing to take your shirt off at the end of this movie and pretend that you're into me? Oh, okay.
But
Great.
he doesn't remove a single article of clothing. He just holds her naked body and just like fucks her with his clothes on.
Yeah.
She grinds on his like Jordache jeans
He's wearing a leather jacket.
and a scarf and sunglasses.
It's an ascot. It's unisex chemise.
Is that a pashmina? You have a good eye. Now take your shirt off and grind on me.
It was just a weird, again, and that became a central theme of a lot of Seagal films, where at the end of it, like, he gets the girl.
Or like the one where the reporter shows up and she's like, are you as good as they say you are? And he's like, long ass pause.
I
"I'm the
watched you
best."
murder countless people, and now I'm sexually attracted to you for it. Is not what I think I don't think that psychologically happens to a lot of people.
Dude, he literally sends the brother and the younger sister and the dog packing and just wordlessly walks upstairs with the hot babe.
Yeah.
And they immediately, without saying another word, she knows what the transaction is. Off comes the jacket and the weird wiggling starts.
It's not great. And again, in the middle of it, he gets his man, of course, and defeats, Mr. Chen. And
Yep.
everything's good, and he kind of lists off a couple of times.
He gave the pedophile arms dealer a fucking honorable death because the guy says that as he dies. Mr. Chen is like, now I can die in peace.
Yeah, which is so weird.
Why? He's a child trafficker.
He's trying to sell the child to a clearly creepy British pedophile.
Yeah, or I think he was Italian, wasn't he?
I don't even.
Because I'm pretty sure he was like, bonjour, no, when he
He
walked
got
in.
that many lines.